Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rector Field at Joe B. Hatcher Stadium. I'm Joshua Carroll here tonight, as always, with Holt Short, here to present the game to you in full quality audio. Isn't that right, Holt?
Home sweet home.
Oh, that's right. It's our first home game of the season.
Yes. It's great to be here. It was not even back. We're here.
Yeah, we're here for the first time this year, so that's great. We've got both teams on the field. We already had a short rain shower, and of course, as it has been the last few weeks, weather is going to impact the game, I think, again tonight. Of course, the last few weeks we've been dealing with heat and, of course, heat-related cramps and heat-related injuries and stuff. Well, tonight the story is storms. So here in central Arkansas, we've got a low front that's pushing through, and so that's causing a line of thunderstorms to come through, and they are going to probably impact several of the games around the state. If not here, hopefully we're going to cross our fingers and hope that that doesn't happen here. But we've got the Bruins and the War Eagles already on the field. They're warming up. And I understand that we're going to be starting this game very shortly, probably about 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll go ahead and we'll be right back to kick this thing off. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Bruin Radio on 101.1 FM, The Answer. Rector Field at Joe B. Hatcher Stadium. I'm Joshua Carroll here with Holt Short, here for Pulaski Academy hosting the J.A. Fair War Eagles tonight. We had a short rain shower earlier, and with the inclement weather moving in the area, they've decided to go ahead and kick off this game just a little bit sooner. And joined here in the studio now by Brooks Beasley. He's here to give us all the statistics during the game. Hey, Brooks, thanks for making it early. And He didn't realize that we were moving early, so I've got to make sure I get Brooks's phone number before we leave tonight. But we've got everybody on the field. Everybody's ready. You know, looking back to last week, that was a rough one. It's going to be tough to look back at it at all. But you know, there's a lot of things that we can learn from that. We played last week in Bossier City, Louisiana, against the Parkway Panthers, and gave the Bruins a serious game.
Yes, yes. Well, and going back over the game in my head, it seemed like the Bruins played a good game, and just something was off. But it wasn't until I looked at the stats at the box score that I realized what it was, and they did not convert a third down.
Wow.
They had 9 chances, did not convert a single one.
Sure.
And you know, compare that to the previous 2 games where they went 3 of 8 and 7 of 13 on third down, and you're going 0 for 9. That's gonna put your team in a little bit of trouble.
Right.
And you know, the previous 2 games they had, they went 3 of 6 on fourth down and 2 of 4 on fourth down.
Right.
That game they had 9. Obviously, they failed on all 9 for the third down, so they had 9 fourth down chances. They did convert 4 of them, but it just wasn't enough. And that combined with very poor field position.
Sure.
And what was hurting them was the kicker for the other team was extremely good.
Yeah. Well, and I spoke to Coach Kelly during the week. You know, we met at a volleyball game this week, and he told me that, you know, there's one of the things he, of course, as most coaches will, he took ownership of that loss and said it was entirely his fault, and said that, you know, he firmly believes that you can make up for you can make up for bad weather, you can make up for skill, you can make up for a lot of different things on the field with good play calling, and he said that he just dropped it that night. But of course, our final score in Bossier City was 22-30, giving Pulaski Academy their first loss in I believe 28 games. Their last loss was, of course, to East High School in Salt Lake City, Utah, and without exaggerating at all, that was a team full of Samoans, and I say that literally. That entire high school was made up of Samoans. When I saw them come out on the field, my initial thought was, wow, that's a bunch of chunky fellers. But they weren't. They were athletic, and they could move, and they could run, and they could pass. It was incredible to watch that team.
Well, and that kind of mirrors what I think it was Coach Thrash told me before the game last week. He said, you know, when I asked him, who should we watch for, and he said all of them. You know, all these players are fast. You know,
and that's true. They were. Their quarterback was obviously a game maker, not just a playmaker. He was a game maker, and of course he didn't make it through both halves because he was injured in the first half. He was taken out off the field and then actually left on an ambulance. I did not hear what happened later, but of course I did read in an article from Bossier City that their team, that's the one game of the entire year that the Panthers were training for all summer long. Now, we're not talking about just when the season started, all summer long.
Wow.
And so when they took that field, that was the one thing that they were looking for. They wanted to beat Pulaski Academy, and they wanted to win a conference title. Those are the two. That was their 2 goals. So coming out on the field and playing the way that they did, they have to be proud of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And so, of course, it's funny. Apparently, they normally have practices and work through the weekends. Not last weekend. They got the weekend off.
Understandably so. They earned it.
They did. They absolutely did. There was some trick plays, a lot of misdirection that we saw, and it did look like our defense kind of picked up on some of that in the second half, but then they kind of fell for it again in the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that kind of fascinated me just going through the stats, I love just kind of looking for little quirks in there, was they only passed the ball 7 times the entire game.
Wow.
7. Pulaski Academy passed it 47.
I'm not surprised. Pulaski Academy loves to pass the ball.
But, yeah, 7 passes, and I think they actually, I want to say it was well into the game before they actually threw the ball for the first time because the run game was working so well, that misdirection that, you know, leaving the Bruins trying to figure out who's got the ball, and, you know, they usually had at least 2 or 3 men behind the quarterback ready to get it.
Right. Well, looking on the other side of the ball, the defensive side, we have to be proud of the defense. We had Chris Connell actually leading the defense last year with 9.5 stops, and 6 of those were solo tackles.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other thing was the Bruins only allowed 205 yards last week. It was just When you do
They made those 205 count.
well, and when you do the onside kick
Right.
and you don't recover it, which is what the Bruins do, it leaves a short field and it leaves
Right.
them with less room to work with.
That's right. Some playmakers for tonight. Who do you expect to see from Pulaski Academy? Obviously, this game is not. This is going to be an ulterior from last week. It's going to be the complete opposite. So, who do you see from Pulaski Academy showing out this first half?
Well, now we talked about the passing, but actually, I'm looking to see Jaden Kelly step up.
Okay.
For two reasons. One, I think he's had 2 straight games of over 120 yards rushing. So he's feeling it. They
Sure.
want to give him the ball. They want to feed the beast. But the second thing is it's raining.
Sure.
I mean, it's
That's
not raining right this minute, but it's gonna be.
And that affected them last week. We saw the ball get slippery. We saw the handling when they were trying to run those plays with the long passes. It just could not work. I agree with you, but I'm going to look on the other side, and I'm going to look for Isarius Woods, number 30 of the Bruins, another running back. I think he's going to be the one to really shine tonight.
Well,
So
I look forward to seeing them both produce and hopefully have a great game tonight.
I hope so. So it looks like the teams are taking the field. We were talking and having a nice conversation. I got distracted. I didn't see who won the toss and who elected to receive. But it looks like the Bruins are back to receive.
Right on time.
Right on time, exactly. We've got 5:59, 80 degrees here in Little Rock at Rector Field. We're ready to kick this thing off.
Well, I got to say, this is impressive to have, they have 50, 60 kids on each side.
They do.
The referees,
The fans,
our
the
staff,
cheerleaders,
the media, everyone
everybody
in
threw it
place
together.
an hour early.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to receive the kick, we have Mason Cobb as well as number 18, Dylan Allison. He fielded several kicks for the Bruins last week. I think we can expect to see the same from him this week. Let's see. Last week, he returned 5 kickoffs for 77 yards. He's 7 returns for 121 yards, averaging 17.3 yards per carry this year. So Dylan Allison in the backfield, if he catches that one, watch for him to make a nice run.
Yeah. Well, and I expect to see the fake pitch every time as well.
All right, so back to kick for the War Eagles is number 17, William Severe. And here he comes. There's the kick. It's up straight down the middle of the field. It's going right over to Mason Cobb. He's going to run to the 20, up to the 25, the 30. He gets tripped up there and is brought down at the 35 by, I didn't quite see who that was there.
He barreled over number 15, Henry Brooks. I'm not sure if you actually want to credit him with the tackle. He tripped him up a bit, but he picked up a few yards falling forward. So the Bruins are going to start with the ball at the 36-yard line, their own 36, on the right hash mark.
Well, it looks like we're having some technical issues with at least one of the cameras, so we're trying to get camera feeds there working. So the Bruins now have the ball at their own 35-yard line. Here's Braden Bratcher at the in the shotgun formation. He has 2 receivers on his, 2 on his right, 3 on his left. Here's the snap. He's immediately going to toss that ball to Hudson Henry. He's going to run it up for about a 5-yard gain. He's stopped at about the 40-yard line by number 51. That's Dejon Robinson.
Oh, and that was a good pickup for Hudson Henry. He had Luke Hawes in front of him who managed to block one player, but they had another player to pick him up where he left off.
So now again, this time he has number 21, Jaden Kelly. He's going to pass it to Kelly. Kelly is at the 40, at the 30, at the 25, at the 20. He makes it all the way to the 20-yard line of the War Eagles before being taken down by number 51, Dejon Robinson, again on that stop.
Well, and Hudson Henry returned the favor, so to speak. He had an excellent block there on the left side. It was a well-designed play, just pitch to the running back on the left side, or throw to the running back, rather.
So now we have, again, Bratcher in the shotgun. He's going to play fake to Kelly. This time he's going to pass it across the left side to J.D. White. And he is stopped at about the 11-yard line after about a 3-yard gain. So that'll bring up 2nd down and about 1 yard to go for the Bruins.
This is the drive that they wanted to see. This was after last week. No, don't have any cobwebs. Don't have any I guess, anything holding back
That's
here.
right. They don't. So now here's Bratcher again in the shotgun. He has one receiver wide right. There's the snap. He's looking to his left. He's going to keep it looks like, and maybe run around the right side. There's the pass, and it is complete to number 4, Merritt Jones, for a touchdown.
That was an excellent job by the offensive line. Bought him enough time to find an open receiver. There was a little bit of schoolyard scrambling in the end zone there to find a man. And, I was wondering whether they need to have 1 foot or 2 foot down, whether it was NFL or college. And he had 1 foot down, and I guess it's the college rule.
I suppose so. So with 10:34 on the clock here in the first quarter, the Bruins already leading 6-0. Here comes the point after attempt. It'll be kicked by number 8, Clay James. He's ready to receive the snap, and here it comes now. Nope, not going to have it. Prior to the snap, there's a penalty flag on the play. Not sure what's.
They caught him. That fake that they do on the kick or the field goal attempts, they caught him off sides. I think it was number 11 for the opposing team.
Zaylen Robinson. A lot of Robinsons on this team. So now I'm ready for the snap once again. There's the snap. There's the kick. It's up, and it is officially good. So now the Bruins lead 7-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles with 10:34 remaining in the first quarter. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer. Rector Field, the Bruins now leading the J.A. Fair War Eagles 7-0. And we've got the whole crew up here tonight. We've got Brooks Beasley, Holt Short, myself, Joshua Carroll. We're here, and now the Bruins are getting ready to kick off to the War Eagles for the War Eagles' first offensive drive. That last scoring drive of the Bruins was a 4-play, 65-yard drive. It ended up with an 11-yard pass by Braden Bratcher to Merritt Jones. It only took 1 minute and 19 seconds off the clock. So now we have Clay James getting ready to kick the ball. It's going to be an onside kick. He has the ball laying on its stitches. Here's the kick. It's going to kind of twist and turn across the field, across the 40, and it's going to bounce out of bounds at the War Eagles' 35-yard line. So, of course, there's the requisite penalty flag for the kick out of bounds.
Now, I'm not sure where the ball gets placed. It went out exactly where it would normally be placed for kicking it out of bounds at the 35-yard line. It looks like they're just going to start off there.
Yeah. So they'll place the ball there at the War Eagles' own 35-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 yards to go for the War Eagles. Looking at some of the defensive members of the game, we have Grant Pino at left blocker, and last week he had 5.5 stops, 2 of those being solo. Of course, I already talked about Chris Connell. He was obviously the defensive leader of the game last week with 9.5 stops with 6 solos. And obviously on the other side of the field, you have Bennett Perkins. And on the year, he has 2 sacks for losses totaling 11 yards. So let's look to see if the Bruins can bring that defense today. There's the snap. Handoff is immediate to their running back. He makes his way up to the 35-yard line. He's stopped this time by number 34. That's Futa Shinkawa.
Oh, and Mr. Shinkawa has had quite a few tackles.
Oh, I said that wrong. That was 32 is Futa. 34 is Blake Titus.
Okay.
Can't get that
Blake
wrong.
Titus, I believe he is. He did pretty impressive the past 3 games. So
he did. You know, it's impressive to see Blake out here. He lost a grandfather this week, just a couple of days ago, and so just praying for his family and hope that they're all doing well tonight.
Our condolences.
Here comes the snap. He's number 10. Their quarterback, Ja'Cory Cranford, is going to toss it across the left side. It's intended for number 11, Zaylen Robinson. It's incomplete. It was number 46 of the Bruins that was defending there. That was J.P. Cady.
Oh, and Bennett Perkins came in on the right side and pressured the quarterback. It looked like he might have him down for a significant loss, but the quarterback managed to get the ball away before he was tackled and brought down.
So now we have third down, 9 yards to go for the War Eagles from their own 30, well, let's just say 36-yard line, a little bit more than 35. Here comes the snap to number 10, Ja'Cory Cranford. He was under center. He's going to be scrambling out of the pocket, and rightfully so. He gets sacked in the backfield by number 32. Now I get to say it, Futa Shinkawa.
Right next to him was Bennett Perkins once again off that right side. They must have seen something already that they like, because they're sending him every single time from the linebacker spot.
I think that that's a good package for the defense, and I can see that we will probably be seeing that consistently, at least in the first half, until we get some other players out here in the second half. So now we have fourth down and a long way to go for the War Eagles. There's the snap. It's going to be kicked by Ja'Cory Cranford, and it's going to bounce all the way up to about the Bruins' 25-yard line before being downed by the War Eagles. Of course, as usual, after the punt, the Bruins run off the field, and so the Bruins will take possession of the ball at their own 25-yard line. And we have 9 minutes, 2 seconds on the clock.
Excellent start by the defense. Just saw what the offense did and figured they'd join in the fun.
Yeah. So we have, looking around at the sky, don't have any rain, knock on wood. Don't want to say that. Yeah, I know. But we don't have any storms just yet. Maybe we can get this one in. So here comes the snap to Braden Bratcher. He has Jaden Kelly on his right. He's going to immediately hand it off. Oh, that had to have – where's the penalty flag on that one? Oh. You had two helmets collide. You had the defender actually bend over and put his helmet against Kelly's helmet to knock him down.
Oh, and that was Braylon Burton on the tackle. And
I hate to be that guy to actually point out flaws on the officiating crew, but that was a lost call right there. Mm-hmm. There's the snap to Bratcher. He's looking to his right side. He's going to pass it across. He intended that for number 4, Merritt Jones, but Jones got tripped up on his way to catch that pass and didn't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was open. He was out there. Unfortunately, they just couldn't make the connection.
So now we are looking at third down, 9 yards to go for the Bruins. And 8:32 on the clock in the first half. Here comes the snap to Bratcher. There's the snap. He's looking for Kelly. Kelly ran around the right side. The pass was to Merritt Jones, but it was bounced off his fingertips and rolled into the hands of number 11 of the War Eagles. Where did that go? I'm sorry. number 11, that's Jalen Robinson. Before he dropped the ball, after intercepting the ball, he dropped the ball at about the 31-yard line of the Bruins, and then one of the Bruins, I didn't see who, jumped on the ball to recover it. So there we had 2 turnovers in one play.
I think it was Caleb Smith, number 72, I believe, was on top of it. It was kind of a mix-up down here on the sideline. We couldn't really see. He was very lucky to get to it before going out of bounds because it was right on the sideline.
He was extremely lucky. If that had gone out of bounds, this would have been a different story. Here comes the snap to Bratcher. Looking to the right, he's looking downfield. There's the pass, looking straight into the arms of Mason Cobb at the 45-yard line, across the 50 to the 45 before being thrown down by number 11, Jalen Robinson.
Well, Wesley Coleman, number 71, had a huge pancake on the line and bought Bradshaw enough time to get the ball out. Just to clarify, after that last play with the 2 turnovers, the downs started over. So they had a fresh set of downs there.
Of course, yeah, I wouldn't think about that. Yeah,
so they figured, let's go deep.
Let's go. So here comes first down again for the Bruins. There's the snap to Bratcher. He hands off immediately to Kelly. He's running around the left side of the field, right up the middle. There's no one near him. Touchdown, Bruins. What a play.
The closest defender was Henry Brooks. He's a cornerback, but he was too far away to really catch up, and he realized it was hopeless by about the 15-yard line.
So with 7:54 remaining in the first quarter, the Bruins leading 13-0. We have out on the field, I think we'll see, number 8, Clay James out there to kick the point after attempt. Got a nice-sized crowd considering the weather tonight. There's the snap to kick it. There's the kick. It's up, and it's good. The point after is good, so the Bruins lead this game 14-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Bruin Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer. Field at Joe B. Hatcher Stadium. The Pulaski Academy Bruins leading this game 14-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles. We had two very good drives by the Bruins, and we got Savannah Goodwin out this time to kick the ball away. She's getting ready to place the ball down. I expect to see another onside kick from Savannah. She had, I think, one kick last week, or was it two? I can't remember.
At least two. We fortunately did not have a whole lot of kicks.
Sure.
As many as we're used to seeing.
She's actually going to place that ball on the tee.
They're looking for a big hop here.
So it looks like, yeah, there she's going to kick it right off the top of the ball. There's the hop they're looking for, and it is caught by number 36, I believe that was. Nope, 35. That's Justin Lockhart of the War Eagles. That last scoring drive for the Bruins was a two-play, 69-yard drive, resulting in a 42-yard run by Jaden Kelly. It only took, get this, I love these numbers, 26 seconds off the clock. I love it.
Well, now, in fairness, that was because the ball changed possession, so
sure,
restarted.
That's true. That's true. All right, so now the Bruins have possession of the ball on the, no, that's not correct. The War Eagles have the ball on their own 45-yard line. And we have this time it's the same quarterback, Ja'Cory Cranford, in the shotgun this time. He's going to hand off. Nope, he's not. Just a little play fake. He's going to run around the left side of the field, and he's going to fall off of number 8, Clay James, defending there. No gain, actually about a 5-yard loss on that play. So that'll bring up second down and 15 yards to go.
There were about 3 other Bruins over there ready to clean up his mess in case he missed. Now, I want to go ahead and add before we go any further that was the best onside kick I've seen from Savannah Goodwin this year.
It was.
That ball hopped higher than anything. Now, it helps that she's on a familiar field. She knows how it works and all that, but that was still what you want to see. It was just
sure. There's the snap to Cranford. He's going to hand off immediately to number 30, Braylon Burton, who is stopped at the 40-yard line. It's about a 3-yard gain. Nope, that's about a 1-yard loss. The marker on the far side of the field moved just a little bit early, so that'll bring up third down and about 15 yards to go.
I believe that was Matthew Hugg on the initial stop. Is that number 13? And then a few other Bruins jumped in to help him.
So now we have third down, 15 yards to go for the War Eagles from their own 40-yard line. Now the Bruins, almost a little bit of odd offsides or almost encroachment. There's the snap. He fumbled the snap, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield for another loss of about 7 yards. He's wrapped up by number 46, J.P. Cady.
And I believe Futa Shinkawa was in there as well to help out and bring him down.
I would not doubt that.
They sent at least 6, 7 guys into the backfield there, so they're just looking to contain, not let him get any movement. Trying not to get to the corner.
They're doing a lot of talking to decide that they're actually going to kick it. So now that's true. Ja'Cory Cranford is back to punt the ball away for the War Eagles. It's fourth down and a little more than 20 yards to go. There's the snap, and there's the punt, and here come all the Bruins to run off the field. And the ball will roll out to, looks like it's going to drop at about the 25, and it's going to roll out of bounds at about the Bruins' 22-yard line.
I mean, as far as bounces go, that wasn't an awful one. It kind of took a curve to the sidelines and settled there where it gave the Bruins some decent field position considering where the opposing team was.
So 5 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. The Bruins still leading this one 14-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles here at Rector Field. It's a beautiful night. We've got a lot of fans out here, a lot more than I expected, honestly.
It's the nature of social media. Apparently, they got the word out rather quickly. We did have some concerns they may not know, but.
So here's we have Bratcher in the shotgun position. He has Kelly to his right. There's the pass across the left side to Henry. He's going to run right up the field. He's still on his feet. He's met by about 4 different defenders and run out of bounds at about the Bruins' 45-yard line. That's enough for definitely a first down and then some.
Just going to your good man, going to your big man on the left side. You know, interestingly enough, the Bruins do not shy away from throwing to the weak side of the field. I mean, the short side of the field, whatever you want to call it, they don't.
Well, that's one of the things that Coach Amsler told me several weeks ago was they don't believe in a strong side, weak side. They just don't believe in it. Here's the snap to Bratcher. He's looking to the coach to confirm the play. There's the snap. And he's looking downfield, straight down the middle of the field, going to the left side. He's got number 5, J.D. White, running up the field. He's wrapped up by 3 different defenders now before he finally falls to the ground at the War Eagles' 42-yard line. Another first down for the Bruins.
That was a great hustle effort. I mean, as soon as he got tackled, he did not go down easily. Picked up an extra yard or 2 on that catch and run.
So now the Bruins again at the War Eagles' 42-yard line. Here comes Braden Bratcher. He has Kelly in motion. He's going to pitch it to Henry. Henry's going to run right up the middle of the field. He's at the 30. He's going to dodge another defender, and he's tripped up by number 26 at about the 25-yard line. That's number 26, Dwayne White, with the stop.
I was real lucky by number 26 to take him down when he did, because I was about to go on the highlight reel for Henry. He put 2 men in the ground before getting out in the open field.
It's pretty impressive how quickly that big fella can move his feet.
Well, what's interesting is Nate Cumming has been in the backfield. Not this time, though.
So here comes the snap to Bratcher. He's got Kelly running behind him. He's going to pass across his right side to Kelly. Kelly's going to run right up along the right side of the field, and he gets barely pushed out of bounds by number 30. That's Braylon Burton. That will move the chains again for the Bruins.
Well, and that was Luke Hawes out in front of him that bought him 5 or 6 more yards, and he just a very large player, and just by sheer fear almost, I think, picked up extra yardage for his running back.
So now the Bruins have the ball at the War Eagles' 14-yard line, 4:34 in the first quarter. First down, 10 yards to go. There's the snap to Bratcher. He's going to pass along the left side of the field to Mason Cobb. Mason Cobb has no one near him. He's going to run it in. Touchdown, Bruins.
Once again, the Bruins were relying on and got a good block by a role player. It was number 71, Wesley Coleman, on the left side, who blocked the cornerback and bought the receiver enough time to get in the end zone.
So now here comes number 8, Clay James, to kick the extra point attempt. He's waiting for the snap. There's the snap. There's the hold. Kick is up. Kick is good. So now with 4:27 remaining in the first quarter, the Bruins lead this one 21-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Bruin Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer.
War Eagles 21-0 with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left to go in the game. The Bruins are lining up to onside kick. It looks like number 90. Am I seeing that right? I'm not even sure who number 90 is, but they are going to kick the onside kick.
Yeah, I don't know who 90 is.
Not in our chart. And there's the kick. It looks like a good one, and it's been recovered by number 36 for the Bruins. There's no flag on the field, so it must have gone the requisite 10 yards, and the Bruins have recovered the ball. That was Bennett Perkins on the recovery there.
So number 90 is freshman Vaughn Seelick.
So that's our second freshman to see playing time this year, along with Savannah Goodwin, both kickers.
I wonder if they have a freshman roster anywhere in the press box. Maybe we can find one somewhere for us. They have those games on Thursday nights typically. So
the Bruins are starting out in enemy territory at the 47-yard line. And they have 2 men in the backfield next to Bratcher.
They have Isarius Woods on his right, and he has number 21. That's Jaden Kelly on his left. He has one receiver to his right. He's going to hand off immediately to Woods. Woods is going to run it to the 40. He's pushing off one defender, pushing off another. A third one comes in to actually push him out of bounds at the War Eagles' 35-yard line. That final hit to push him out of bounds was big, number 51, Dejan Robinson.
Well, and it looks like he followed one of his blockers, Chase McCarver, on the left side to get open in the field and pick up the good yardage there.
4:09 on the clock in the first quarter. Now Bratcher has 3 receivers far to his left, 2 to his right. There's the snap. He's looking to his left immediately. There's the pass. It's going down the left side of the field, and it's just off the fingertips of Mason Cobb before he rolls out of bounds. That catch is no good. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Bruins.
And that was a good effort by Cobb. The ball was just a little above his fingertips. Now, Bratcher earlier in the season and even last week was having issues overthrowing receivers. That's the first time he's done it tonight, so it's good to see him really getting into midseason form here.
Really is. So now we have 3:55 on the clock. Here comes the snap to Bratcher. He has Kelly on his left side. There's the snap. He has 3 receivers to his right. That's where he's looking, scrambling around the right side of the field. He's got lots of time. There's the pass to number 10. That's Andrew Cobb, and he's forced out of bounds immediately at the War Eagles' 25-yard line by numbers 30 and 35. That's Braylon Burton and Justin Lockhart.
Andrew Cobb really sticks out. I didn't realize how big of a player he is. 6'5", 215 pounds. And he moves. I mean, he is not slow player either. So the Bruins looking to the sidelines, trying to get the play.
There's a lot of them trying to look to see what looks like they changed up the play just a little bit. He has Jaden Kelly to his right this time. He has 1 receiver far to the right. He has 3 along the left side of the field. He's going to hand off immediately to Kelly. Kelly runs around the left side of the field. He's got no one there defending him. Lots of blocking, lots of time. He's going to continue to push, and let's see, did he get in there? I'm not sure. Yes, they signal it now. Touchdown, Bruins.
Oh, and that was number 71 that bought him, Wesley Coleman, again on that left side. It bought him enough time to get out and turn the corner and get down the field. He carried a man in there into the end zone with him.
The Bruins leading this game 27-0, 3:34 remaining in the first quarter. So we're looking to see another extra point attempt here. Looks like there's a player injured on the field. So let's, I'm not sure if they're officially going to call. I'm not sure if they're going to go ahead and call it or not. Yeah, he's going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and take an injury timeout with them. This injury timeout is brought to you by Ortho Arkansas. We thank you for your support, and we'll be right back in just a few moments. You're listening to Bruin Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer.
Getting walked off. I can't see the number.
Welcome back to Rector Field. Looking toward the bottom right corner of the screen there's a player that's actually getting walked off, and not sure who that was, but they're getting some help walking off the screen. Excuse me, the field. Screen.
Our field, our screen.
Sure.
We hope he's all right. Both feet appear to be moving pretty well, and he was. I mentioned a player that the receiver took into the end zone with him, and I believe that was. We still cannot see a number for y'all. When we get it, we will let you know and let you know any updates we get on his status. In the meantime, Clay James is out to kick the extra point for the Bruins.
So here comes Clay James for the point after attempt. There's the kick. It's up. Whoa, that looked a little bit short, but it is good. A little shorter than he normally kicks. I'm not sure what the difference was there. So now 3:34 remaining. The Bruins leading 28-0 against J.A. Fair. We've already seen some of the freshmen come in, and this is only the first quarter.
You think they're taking out some of those frustrations from last week in this game, taking them out on the opposition? I cannot tell. Is it raining? It's raining.
It is raining, yeah. It's coming down pretty good now. Turn around, and all it takes is a blink, and now it's raining all of a sudden.
I guess I could have just seen the sidelines. The opposing cheerleaders have donned their –
they've got yellow ponchos on that they've pulled out. Of course, our cheerleaders have Some nice little rain jackets that they've put on as well, so trying to stay dry out there.
I'm sure those are courtesy of the Den.
I'm sure. Absolutely. I don't know where else you'd find something like that.
Need any of your Bruin gear, head on down there.
All right, so here comes the kickoff. The kickoff will be off the foot of Clay James. He has the ball on a tee again. He's going to kick it deep this time. That ball is going to be fielded by number 7 at about the 10-yard line. That's unnamed player number 7, unnamed on the roster. He's going to run around and actually run out of bounds at the War Eagles' own 25-yard line.
That is actually Frankie Whaley. They switched up his number. He was number 5. A lot of times we have to rely on online sources, and they're not always the most accurate. So we try to get it right when we can. We've been informed that is, in fact, Frankie Whaley, number 7 now. So the J.A. Fair team is starting out at the 26-yard line, their own 26. Looking for any unfamiliar faces on the defense. So far, it looks like they still have the first team out there. We have a whistle. And they're having, looks like
look at timeout from the War Eagles. Let's go ahead and take a quick timeout with them, and we'll be right back. We have 3 minutes exactly remaining in the first quarter. The Bruins leading this 28-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles. We'll be right back. You're listening to Bruin Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer. Field at Pulaski Academy for tonight's game. The Bruins leading this one 28-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Here's Ja'Cory Cranford in the under center. No, that's number 11, Zaylen Robinson under center. He's going to hand off immediately, but he's going to lose some yardage on that one.
Yeah, that was number 26, Dwayne White for
the handoff. That rain is coming down steady, slow and steady. But, I'm really glad to be in the press box this week and not hiding behind a bunch of tarps like we were last week. That was not fun.
Well, and I'm looking to see if they're going to have anyone out there to dry off the ball every play. It does not look like anyone's got a towel handy, so good luck to those players hanging on to it.
Well, I know on the Bruins sidelines that they do have some towels, and they have guys down there keeping those dry for them. There's the handoff to their running back. He's going to run around the left side of the field and get stopped at the 25-yard line. There's a little bit of pushing going on over here between a couple of players. The referees got between them early enough so that we don't have any penalties on the play.
No, that was Garrett Pritchard hanging up with
number 51, I think it was there.
Dejan
Robinson.
Got DeJuan Robinson and Dejan Robinson.
You've got a whole family of Robinsons on here. You've got Javen Robinson, you've got DeJuan, you've got Dejan Robinson, Zaylen Robinson, just a number of Robinsons on this team. Here comes the snap to number 11, Zaylen Robinson. He's going to pass that ball, and it's intercepted easily by the Bruins. Initially touched by number 16. That's Nolan Bruffett, and then, that's number 15, Zach White. I thought that would be odd that Nolan Bruffett was out there on defense, but who came up with that?
That was Clay James.
Clay James. Okay, so it bounced out of Zach White's fingers, and then he kind of handed it to him in front of him. I'm not sure.
Very rarely do you see teammates actually recognize that their own player is right next to him,
right.
Their teammate is right next to him, and realize, hey, that guy needs to take the ball. You always see they run into each other, or one of them tips it and the other one misses it. But that was some excellent teamwork, even if it was
some excellent situational awareness by that defense.
That's a good way of describing it.
So we have 1 minute exactly on the clock in the first quarter. Here come the Bruins. We have Braden Bratcher in the shotgun. He has Isarius Woods to his left. No one out wide on either side. There's the handoff immediately to Hudson Henry. He's going to run around the right side of the field. No one's going to catch him. Touchdown, Bruins. There's a flag at about the 11-yard line.
I did not see who that would have been on. Hopefully it's not a holding penalty.
Yeah, that's going to be holding. Holding against the Bruins at about the 11-yard line. So they'll mark that off and do this one over again.
Well, and you hate to see that because it's almost like you didn't need it that much.
Sure. No, he didn't need any room at all.
No, just buy him a second. Push the guy. Push your man. Don't hold it.
So now the Bruins are put back on the War Eagles 27-yard line. 41 seconds on the clock for the first quarter. The Bruins leading 28-0 against J.A. Fair's War Eagles. It's a first down, about 5 yards to go after the penalty is assessed. So first down, 5 yards to go for the Bruins. Bratcher's in the shotgun. He has 4 receivers left, 1 right. There's the snap. Bratcher's going to throw it to the left side. He's going to find Henry again, who easily squeaks in for a touchdown.
If at first you don't succeed.
Try again.
Even if there is a flag.
No flags on this one, so this one sticks on the scoreboard.
So 34 points up with 34 seconds left.
Hey, make a wish. Knock on wood and make a wish, right?
Let's get through this game.
Hey, I like it. Let's finish this one out
before the weather gets too bad.
So now we have looking to see what they're going to do. Looks like Savannah Goodwin is coming out to kick this one away, kick this extra point attempt. 15 seconds on the play clock. 14, 13, 12. She's still setting up the tee, looks that way. So now here comes the snap. 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3. There's the snap. It's a place down, and whoa, did it go right? No, okay, it went through. Right through the upright. It looked like it went just a little left of that left side, but it did squeak in there. And again, this one was not very high, kind of like the last one.
Does she play for the soccer team?
Yes, she does.
That looked like a little bend it like Beckham curve in there. She looks like she was trying to put it in the upper left corner of the.
Bend it like Beckham. That's some old school movie knowledge right there. All right, let's go ahead. We have 34 seconds remaining in this quarter, 35-0. The Bruins leading J.A. Fair. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer. Pulaski Academy, the Bruins leading the War Eagles 35-0 with 29 seconds remaining. Here comes the kickoff by Clay James. He kicks it deep to about the 10-yard line, and it's fielded by the War Eagles, number 7. That's Frankie Whaley, and he's going to run around the left side of the field and finally runs out of bounds at the War Eagles 35-yard line, and that's where they'll start their next drive.
Oh, that was a nice pickup by the return man. That might have been the longest play they've run tonight for positive yardage plays, at least. He looked like he almost might have found the corner and got down the sidelines, but he was run out of bounds, thankfully, before he could get too much farther.
So now the War Eagles have possession of the ball at their own 36-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. About 13 seconds on the clock.
Looks like they have a different person under center. That's number 2, Buster Hunter.
Buster Hunter, that's a name. He's going to hand off to number 26, I believe that was, Dwayne White.
And that was number 36 for the Bruins, Bennett Perkins. He had a little help. I didn't quite see who it was, but they made a good stop there.
All right, well, that's the end of the first quarter. Our score, Pulaski Academy 35, J.A. Fair 0. We'll be right back. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Bruin Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer. Back, the Bruins now facing against the War Eagles. The Bruins leading this one 35-0. We just started the second quarter. There's the snap to number 2, Buster Hunter, their new quarterback for the War Eagles. He hands it off to number, look like 23, no, 26. That's right, number 26. That's Dwayne White. He made about an 8-yard gain for the War Eagles there. And so they'll have third down, 2 yards to go. I'm not sure why it's third. That's second down, wouldn't it be?
No, third, because they did pick up one down. They ran Buster Hunter up the middle, and he just didn't get many yards.
That's right. So third down and about 2 yards to go.
I got to say, I'm enjoying the vantage point here as opposed to last week's setup.
Sure, no doubt. So there's the snap to Buster Hunter. He hands off immediately, again to number 26, Dwayne White. He pushes his way up to the 50-yard line and just over it before getting pummeled down by a den of Bruins at the Bruins 49-yard line.
I'm not sure if Buster Hunter just earned these snaps or they just didn't like what they were seeing from the first line or the starters, but he's certainly had a nice series there, but they're sending him off the field. He's replaced by, looks like number 9. Javian Robinson?
Javen Robinson. Probably like rhymes with Jason. Javen. So, again, still a steady rain. It has not let up at all since it started about 20 minutes ago. We have 10:43 on the clock in the second quarter. There's the snap to number 2, Buster Hunter. He hands it off immediately to number 50. That's, number 9, Javen Robinson.
Yep.
And he makes his way up to the Bruins' 41-yard line. That'll bring up second down and about 2 yards to go.
That was a pretty good pickup just straight up the middle. It looks like they've just decided to start sending it up the middle and see how many yards they can pick up so far. It seems to be working on this series. And it looks like Dwayne White is now in at running back.
Interesting changes here. There's the snap. It's handed off immediately to number 28, it looks like. If that's the right jersey number. We don't have a 28 on the roster. It looks like he does not want help up. Looked like he was, he's limping off the field there.
Number 46 for the Bruins missed the initial tackle, but hopped right back up. That's J.P. Cady. He hopped right back up and managed to.
Hang on. Official timeout.
To get the injured player off the field.
Sure. So they're going to help him off the field. And there comes third down, about 1 yard to go for the War Eagles. Number 2, Buster Hunter, still under center. He has one receiver left, one right. There's the snap. Handed off immediately. They're trying to push right through that offensive, their defensive line.
He never had the ball. He hopped back to hand it off and realized it wasn't in his hands. And it looks like the center was able to jump on top of it, number 72 for him. I believe that's their center, but no, he never touched that ball. That was just confusion.
The referee is calling for the clock to continue. So that'll bring up fourth down and inches, maybe an inch, according to the markers on the far side of the field. Here comes another play stoppage. We're going to stop the clock for the referee calling.
Looks like they're going to measure it.
They are going to come across and bring the chains out, it looks like. Yeah, they're having all of the players move out of the way so they can bring the chains out. So during the first quarter, Braden Bratcher was 14 of 16 passes for 210 yards. And, of course, his main target was Hudson Henry. I got to quit saying that. Hudson Henry for 5 catches for a total of 72 yards. And then you have Jaden Kelly with 2 catches for 67 yards. Quite an impressive run for these Bruins. That last drive for the Bruins was a 2-play, 27-yard drive that resulted in a 22-yard touchdown pass from Braden Bratcher to Hudson Henry. And, of course, it only took 40 seconds off the clock. Another very impressive run.
Yes, very impressive. Now, looks like the War Eagles are going to go for it on 4th down. They are in their own or in the Bruin territory, and down 35 to nothing. You pretty much don't have any choice but to try it.
So now the War Eagles. Wait, there's another. Yeah, he's going to actually call timeout this time. The War Eagles are calling timeout.
No, I don't think they're.
Yeah, the judge on the far side of the field, the line judge, he actually signaled timeout. War Eagles. So not sure why, because they were all lined up and ready to go.
They saw that something they didn't like.
Okay.
You know, they wanted to see what formation the Bruins were going to come out in, and, try to stop the 4th down attempt. And sometimes that's what you'll see, is especially when you have timeouts to burn and you're 2/3 of the way through a half, especially the first half. Might as well see what the other team's going to offer. Now, obviously, the Bruins are going to come back out probably with a different formation. But it's a guessing game.
That's right. That's right. So the one team's got to outguess the other. So we have 8:18 remaining in the second quarter, and we have the Bruins leading 35 to nothing against J.A. Fair's War Eagles.
Looks like Buster Hunter is going to be under center again with number 9, Robinson, behind him.
All right, now we are ready. 4th down, inches to go for the War Eagles. Buster Hunter under center. Oh, and before he can get the ball snapped, there's a false start against number 35, Justin Lockhart of the War Eagles. So where they just had a few inches, now they're going to have about 5 yards and a few inches.
And one less timeout.
One less timeout, yeah. All of that wasted in a matter of 10 minutes here.
You almost wonder if they were trying to get the Bruins to jump off sides, and
one of them
receiver,
forgot.
Fell for it.
It happens. It happens to every single team.
So
looks like Buster Hunter this time is in the shotgun.
William Sevier is back to punt.
There he is. There's the kick, and it's going to drop at about the 20-yard line. It's rolling to the 10. And it's finally going to stop at about the 7-yard line, and that's where the Bruins will take over. I keep seeing some flashes, and I don't know whether that's people taking photos or maybe some distant lightning, but we haven't heard any thunder. So if it is lightning, it's too far away for us to be concerned with just yet.
Well, we're kind of tucked over in a valley, if you will, Pleasant Valley, surrounded by some hills and peaks here, so we may not be able to see anything worse over the horizon, but as you indicated, we haven't seen anything that's worried the referees enough to call it or get everyone off the field yet. Looks like Bratcher's back out there on offense.
He is indeed. So now the Bruins have the ball at their own 8-yard line, 1st and 10, 8:08 remaining on the clock in the second quarter. He pitches immediately to Isarius Woods, and Woods stopped at the 15-yard line. Looks like he was stopped by number 30 as well. That's Braylon Burton of the War Eagles. So that's about a 7-yard gain for the Bruins. It'll bring up 2nd down, about 3 yards to go, excuse me. Can't do simple math here in my head. 3 plus 7 is what? Yeah.
Well, and you have to wonder if the Bruins are going to go for the ground game here and just try to run that clock out so they can just go ahead and get in the half with that hefty lead. And
there's the snap to Bratcher. He hands off immediately to number 18,
Dylan Allison.
Dylan Allison in there for the offense. Dylan Allison, we normally see him back to receive punts, but now he's getting some offense time.
Well, he's fast enough to play multiple positions. You want your fastest man to have the ball as often as possible.
You certainly do. So now 3rd down, 3 yards to go for the Bruins. 7:05 and counting on the clock here in the second quarter. Bruins leading this 35 to nothing against the War Eagles of J.A. Fair. Here comes the snap to Bratcher. He has 2 running backs behind him. There's the snap. He's going to run around. He's looking to the right side, and he passes. It's complete to number 2. That's Jack Polk. And Jack Polk is met by number 8, not on our roster, but he's met by number 8 of the War Eagles at about the Bruins' 33-yard line, and that will move the chains. First down, Bruins.
That's some offensive mind games there because Polk started out to the left of Bradshaw. He was actually a running back would usually be, and he just ran a little hitch route there to the left or right side and was fairly open.
There's the snap to Bratcher again. He's going to hand off immediately to Isarius Woods, who ran around the left side of the field. But there was no tricking the defense on that play. He was stopped immediately by number 23, Montavian Harris.
I almost suspect that they might have been taking notes last week against Parkway because I feel like I saw the opposition run a few of these plays.
I think you're absolutely right. They did. There was a lot of trickery and misdirection, and I think we're seeing that out of the Bruins right now. So here comes second down, about 11 yards to go for the Bruins. There's the snap, an immediate handoff to Woods. Woods is running around the right side of the field and is forced down by number 30, Braylon Burton of the War Eagles.
Well, and we needed Brandon Perkins there to shut off the corner, and he just couldn't get there in time enough to block his man. And unfortunately, we just didn't get as many yards as you want to see there on second down.
So that ended up that resulted in about a loss of 5 additional yards, maybe a little bit more than that. So now we have third down and about 16 yards to go for the Bruins. They have the ball on their own 38-yard line, 5:25 on the clock and counting. The Bruins leading this game 35-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles. You have our quarterback, Braden Bratcher, is looking to the sidelines, wasn't happy with what he heard, or maybe he didn't hear it correctly. So now the Bruins are going to go ahead and take a timeout, and we're going to go ahead and take a timeout with them. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Bruin Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer. Academy. We're at Rector Field at Joe B. Hatcher Stadium tonight. We had a lot of pregame events tonight that were scheduled, but got canceled because of the weather. We have a lot of new parents that we wanted to welcome to the Pulaski Academy community. They had a nice little tailgate event planned for them that got canceled. There was also, I'm not sure if they held it tonight. They had a tailgate party in the early childhood school. Did they have that tonight?
It was indoors, so they went ahead and had it. They'd already made cupcakes, and they did not want those to go to waste.
Absolutely. They should have brought us some of those cupcakes. All right, there's the snap to Bratcher. He's looking down the field, straight down the field. It's a laser pass, and looks like it was actually fumbled. That pass was out to Cooper White. It was fumbled after he was hit. He wasn't expecting that hit, obviously. And let's see, that ball was recovered by the War Eagles, and they'll take possession of the ball at the Bruins' 48-yard line.
And you hate to see that from Cooper White. We haven't called his name many times this year, and he, clearly made a good catch, went up and came down with the ball, and just did not secure it. And I imagine it was fairly wet, so that did not help his situation.
Did not. So now we have first down, 10 yards to go for the J.A. Fair War Eagles, 5:01 on the clock in the second quarter. So here comes the snap. Looks like we have Buster Hunter under center again. There's the snap. He's going to hand off immediately to his running back there behind him. That was number 9, Javen Robinson. He made a gain of about, that's going to be a loss of about half a yard.
That was Grant Pino on the initial stop with some help from his friends.
Nice little song. With a little help from no, you don't want that.
No
Nobody
singing aloud in the booth.
I'm not sure I can go the whole season with that rule.
Well, I know I can. I think I've been.
We need to have PA karaoke some night. There we go. Here comes the
Not if you want people to keep listening.
second down, 9 yards. Here's the snap. He's going to throw it this time. It's tipped by Bruins, number 36. That's Bennett Perkins, just almost pulling that one down, but he got a fingertip on it, and that'll give the War Eagles 3rd down, 8 yards to go, with 4:18 remaining in this quarter.
That was one of those times where you wonder if he hadn't tipped it, would another Bruin have come up with it? Because there were 2 different defenders right next to the
That's
receiver. True. But you never hold back on that situation.
Sure, you never know. You can't. He couldn't see what was behind him, but
you put a hand on it.
Yeah, sure. Break up that pass, make it happen. So here comes 3rd down, 8 yards to go. There's the snap. An immediate handoff to Javen Robinson, and he makes his way up to the Bruins' 44-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th down and about 6 yards to go for the War Eagles. 401, counting on the clock here in the second quarter. Let's see if they punt this one away. Looks like number 17 coming onto the field. That's William Sevier. My 7th great-grandfather was named Sevier.
Is that how you pronounce it?
That's how I pronounce it. There's the kick. It's up, and here come the Bruins running off the field. That kick is going to get stopped at about the 5-yard line. He's going to let it roll just a little bit longer before he downs it. It is downed at the 5-yard line. 3:25 remaining in the second quarter. The Bruins lead the J.A. Fair War Eagles 35-0. We'll be right back. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer. Welcome back to Pulaski Academy once again. 3:09 on the clock. The Bruins leading this one 35-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles. The Bruins have the ball on their own 6-yard line.
That was Woods on the initial carry. It's now 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, the scoreboard is confusing me. It said 9 down and 9 to go. There's the snap to Bruffett. He's going to throw across his right side to Woods, and Woods is pulled out of bounds after about a 1-yard gain. So that'll bring up 3rd down and about 6 yards to go.
Well, and I imagine they thought they might be bringing Bruffett in a little later, but we're seeing him in the first half already.
I'm really not surprised. It's great to get those guys in there so they can get some touches and get some hits. They want to make sure that they're ready when they're needed later this season, as well as when they're needed and they're called upon next year. So now we have Bruffett again. He's in the shotgun. He has one receiver wide left. He has 3 to his right. There's the snap. He's going to run he's going to pass it, to his right side. It was off the fingertips of Jack Polk, who was just inside. And
we have a flag on the field right next to where the quarterback let go of the ball.
Wonder what that was for. I'm not quite sure. Couldn't be grounding. He had the receiver right there. It hit his fingers.
Roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer. That's roughing the passer against the War Eagles. So that's going to be enough to move the chains. 1st down, Bruins.
Well, that's got to be frustrating for the War Eagles. I mean, you had them backed up 3rd down and 7 or 8, and now you're looking at 1st down. They just gave it up.
They did. So now the Bruins have the ball at their own 34-yard line. 2:36 remaining in this half. The Bruins lead 35-0. Here's the 1st down, 10 yards to go. There's the snap to Bruffett. He shovel pass across to Woods, and Woods is hit. He was grabbed by the jersey first by number 30, Braylon Burton, and then finally actually stopped by number 54. That guy is a tall drink of water right there, Chris Allen. He's about as wide as he is tall.
He's, not a small human being.
So the Bruins, 2nd down, 11 yards to go, under 2 minutes in this half. Ball is on the Bruins' own 23-yard line. I think you're right. They're just trying to eat up the clock at this point. Here comes Bruffett. He has one running back to his left. There's another little play fake. He's going to pass it straight down the field, almost picked off, but this time it's received by Cooper White, and he hangs on to that one, not going to let it go again.
And there's
Another flag after the play, it seemed like. He dropped it after he was brought down, so I expect to see some sort of unsportsmanlike call here.
That was a very dramatic flag toss. I've never seen a referee get that much height on a.
It's a face mask penalty against the War Eagles.
I mean, they are just shooting themselves in the foot on defense.
It must have been right there at the end of the play, probably unintentional. Well, I wouldn't say unintentional, but it was definitely unneeded.
No.
Because it was right there at the end of the play by the time, according to the timing of that flag. So now the Bruins have the ball at their own 45-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go, 1:35 on the clock. The Bruins leading 35-0. There's the shovel pass to number 26 of the Bruins.
That's Jalen Witcher.
Jalen Witcher running it out there. Of course, his dad is well known as a football star himself. Jalen makes his way up to the War Eagles' 34-yard line. Another first down for the Bruins.
That's an excellent, excellent time to go ahead and pick up that yardage there for him. With the clock winding down, a minute and 12 seconds, you want to get in range where you can go for the end zone a couple times and not lose too much clock.
104, 103 and counting on the clock. Here comes the snap to Bruffett. There's the snap. Another shovel pass immediately to number 2, Jack Polk. Oh, and he fumbled it, but he was able to jump on top of the ball before anyone else got there, so he recovered his own fumble, and he still gained about a yard on that play.
I'm surprised that the Bruins are not calling a timeout here, but I guess they're just looking to go ahead and get into the halftime. There's 34 seconds left and counting on the clock in the first half.
Second down, 9 yards to go for the Bruins. Here comes the snap to Bruffett. Here's the snap. He's looking directly down the field, down the left side. The pass is complete to number 22. That's Carter Beerbaum. He makes his way up to the War Eagles' 30-yard line, around the 30, and about a 4-yard gain. Not quite, maybe a 3-yard gain. That'll bring up third down and about 7 yards to go. That will be the end of the first half. What an incredible run for the Bruins this first half. The Bruins leading this one 35-0 against J.A. Fair. Coach Kelly is not happy down there on the sidelines. He is not happy at all. Folks, stick around. I've got a great interview that we're going to conduct here with the counselors of the upper school. And before we go, we've got some talking going on between the coaches. I'm not sure that he's quite happy that this first half is actually over. And now the white hat is running over there to get, looks like he's going to say something to the other coaches. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I think somebody needs to give Coach Kelly a hat so that he can keep his eyes out of the rain.
I imagine they were trying to call a timeout.
But they already have.
Aim for a field goal. Yes, there are young cheerleaders on the field looking like they're going to put on a show.
They are getting ready to put on a show, but I think Coach Kelly is ready to put out another play. He's not done. Yeah, he's not quite done here. Yeah, they're calling these cheerleaders back off the field, and the coaches, whatever the white hat said to the coaches, it doesn't look like they are concerned, and they are shaking their heads and walking to the locker room. They're not having it. So I'm not sure what they are calling for. It looks like they're asking for 10 seconds on the clock. 10 seconds on the clock is what they're asking for. And then they're going to roll that clock. Or, 10 minutes. They're going to put a 10-minute halftime. That's what it is. All right, let's go ahead and start our halftime show. We'll be right back after a few minutes. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Bruin Football on 101.1 FM, The Answer. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And just a few minutes is all it takes. We have got a deluge of rain falling down on this field. Luckily, we're still safe weather. I'm not going to say the L word, but
Could that be lightning?
no, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Knock on wood, everybody out there in Radio Land. That's right. I am Joshua Carroll, and I'm here tonight with Brooks Beasley, our statistician, and he's here to help us run down the first half. Brooks, an incredible first half of football by the Bruins. Got to close this window a little bit because that rain is starting to blow inward here. But you got to be impressed. This is obviously a complete opposite from last week, like we saw like I mentioned earlier. I expected that would be the case. What can you tell us?
Well, one thing you got to take in consideration on this game is the level of competition. Of course, as you well know, we definitely played a lot stronger team last week, and its score indicates that tonight. You know, end of the first quarter here, it was 35-0, and last week it was a far cry from that. I think it was really a tight first half last week. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was maybe each team had scored once and maybe a little bit more field goal or something like that. But it was a real tight score the first half of last week, but not like that tonight.
Right. You know, one of the things that we've been able to see is not just kind of like what we expected at the beginning. We didn't see a whole lot of as many attempts to pass the ball as we normally see out of Pulaski Academy. We see Jaden Kelly, Caleb Nichols, Isarius Woods. We see Cooper White and others actually running this ball, and I think a lot of that probably had to go to the point of clock management.
Right, sure was. A lot of these plays that. And I've noticed the quarterback is just a little short, quick pitch to the halfback cutting across the middle, and that's basically I consider that myself a pass. It's a 1 or 2 yard pass in the backfield behind the line of scrimmage, but it could be considered also a handoff. But it's really not. It's a little short pass, and so Braden is, believe it or not, for the first half he was 23 of 26, and that's very few. That's very few drop passes, but a lot of them are real short passes in the first half.
All right, so let's go ahead and run down some of the stats that you've got for us. Kind of run down the first half again for us, if you don't mind.
All righty. Like I said before, Braden was 23 of 26 for 289 yards passing. Individually, we have Mason Cobb. He had 2 catches for 40 yards and 1 touchdown. Merritt Jones, 1 catch and 1 touchdown, and the catch was a 11-yarder for the touchdown. And J.D. White had 2 catches for 22 yards, and Andrew Cobb, 1 reception for 8 yards. And then Nate Cummings, which we don't see. No, that's Dylan Allison. I'm sorry. He had 1 catch for 1 yard. He's kind of a new one there on the list for us. Then Jaden Kelly, a lot of his passes were the little short passes behind the line of scrimmage. But anyway, he had 3 receptions for 57 yards. And number 26, I don't have his name listed. Got to get caught up on that and get his name in there. But he had 1 reception for 20. Isaiah Woods had 2 receptions for 10 yards. And Jack Polk, 2 receptions for 19 yards. And Cooper White is a new name that we've added to the list this week. He had 2 catches for 26 yards. However, I will add one problem, and Coach Kelly doesn't like this at all, but he had 1 fumble there in the first quarter. No, second quarter, I'm sorry. And then number 22, I need to get his name listed on the roster on my sheet here.
Of the Bruins?
Yes.
That's Carter Beerbaum.
Carter Beerbaum. Well, he's a new addition to the – I left a bunch of empty spaces on my sheets here, and the numbers – I normally list everybody that we're going to see.
Absolutely.
Of course, a game like this, we're going to have a lot of extra names and put in there, so I didn't have him listed. But he had 1 catch for 3 yards, and then Hudson Henry, he was the big receiver in the first half. Had 5 receptions for 72 yards and 1 touchdown. And then in rushing category, the rushing we didn't have but 7 rushes in the first half, and we had a total of 77 yards. But 2 of them were by Jaden Kelly, 2 2 carries for 67 yards, and on those 2 carries, each one of them was a touchdown. So he's doing pretty good tonight.
He is.
And then Isaiah Woods, he had 5 carries for a total of 10 yards. He had several that were in minus category. I guess he just didn't make it quite back to the line of scrimmage. But anyway, he's a real outstanding freshman or sophomore that we've got this year. And I think he's added a lot of depth into our backfield for us this year.
You know, I'm looking toward the Judy R. Buck Strength and Conditioning Center, and I was expecting to see some of the teams coming back out because we had the horn a second ago. They're supposed to come back out on the field for an additional 3 minutes of warm-ups, but I'm not seeing any movement. As a matter of fact, I saw all of the referees go into the Judy Buck Center. So I'm not sure what to make of that. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We will be right back after a few messages, and hopefully we'll get the second half of this game started. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Bruin football. The Bruins leading this game against J.A. Fair's War Eagles 35-0. You're listening to 101.1 FM, The Answer. To Rector Field at Joe B. Hatcher Stadium, folks, with 24:43 on the clock. That's right, 24:43. You heard it right. Just as we were getting ready to end halftime and retake the field, we are officially in a lightning delay. We've got snow, they've got snow showing up here on the Bruintron. Gotta love it. Well, we've had a lot of fun football so far, especially just this season. We've just getting this season started.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we spent a lot of time on the road, and we did, and the players did too, and the coaches did too, and just being back here, it's getting settled in. It almost feels like home, even though this is the first game. I've already, half in.
It bothers me when you've got students out there on the field. I feel like I need to say something to somebody. We've stopped the game because it's unsafe. And so now we've got students trying to run out there and play on the field, and it looks like somebody's actually spoken up and trying to talk some sense into them. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and we're going to take a break as well. I think we're going to send it back to the studio, and we will come back here shortly. We've got 23 minutes on the clock, so stick around. We'll let you know as soon as we're able to finish this game out, and we'll be right back here at Pulaski Academy. But in the meantime, we are officially in a weather delay, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes. You're listening to Pulaski Academy Bruin football. The Bruins leading this game 35-0, and we're still in a weather delay just outside of halftime. You're listening to 101.1 FM, The Answer.
Stay safe out there, folks.
This is Joshua Carroll at Rector Field, Joe B. Hatcher Stadium at Pulaski Academy. Well, that's it for tonight, folks. This football game has been called. That's after 2 quarters of play. The referees and the coaches have made an agreement, and by agreement, they have decided to end this game. So your final score from Pulaski Academy is 35-0 against the J.A. Fair War Eagles. Another decisive victory for the Bruins tonight, and I know that they're looking forward to next week already. We've got the Little Rock Christian that we'll be facing off with next week. And Brooksy, what I was just explaining to folks is this game is canceled.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's it.
Well, this makes the second one that I've ever experienced. I remember when I was in high school. Well, as the year after I graduated in high school, that was eons ago when they wore leather helmets.
Oh, that's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a few
as the kids say, that's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while back. But anyway, we were playing at the old Hendricks. The Conway was playing at the old Hendricks Stadium. They were playing Batesville. And it just came a torrential downpour. And anyway, there was water seemed like it was about 2 or 3 inches deep on the field. And anyway, they called the game at halftime, and I think Conway was ahead 28-0. So this is a very similar situation right here. So it really doesn't, you can get players hurt, injured, but I will say this: I played a few games in the rain, and it was fun.
Yeah, well, and I know that when I went to high school, I never played football. I wasn't inclined to football. I like to play basketball and baseball, but I had a friend of mine that played, and one of his favorite things to do, Vince Dunlap, Dr. Dunlap here. He teaches down at Henderson State now. Okay. And we've got his wife is one of our sponsors on the far side of the field, Dr. Tanya Martin Dunlap. Okay. And but anyway, he used to tell me stories about they would get out there in their pads and do drills sliding through the mud. Yeah. That's they look forward to it raining like that, or else maybe they didn't look forward to it. And but that's what they were going to be doing, is running through the mud. Yeah. But it's not just the rain that we're looking at. We've got lots of lightning that is in the area, just kind of came in all of a sudden. When we're lucky that we got 2 quarters of football in, and it was smart by the administrators to get this game started an hour early, because we kicked off at 6, and now we've got 7:30. So if we had started on time, we would have only had a 30-minute game, and we would be back here tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a good deal on the coaches' aspect there of starting early. I did. Seemed like I was listening to the 103.7 The Buzz as I was coming over here, and there was another game that was going to start at 6:30, but it didn't ever dawn on me that this game was going to start at 6. So I almost did. I was sitting out here talking to some people, and the game was ready to start, and I thought, "Whoa, what's going on here? I didn't get in gear here." I didn't get the memo. Let's put it that way.
Right. Didn't get the memo. That's okay. We'll make sure that you get it from now on.
Okay.
Well, folks, that's it for us tonight, and thank you for joining us for Pulaski Academy Bruin football. Again, our final score here, Pulaski Academy 30. They already turned off the scoreboard
35.
on me. 35 to J.A. Fair's. What did J.A. Fair have?
0.
Okay, 35-0. All right. If Brooks wasn't here, I don't know what I'd do. Folks, thanks very much, and we will see you again next week right back here, and we will be taking on Little Rock Christian, our rival from just across the way here. That's going to be a good game.
Right. If we've got a few more minutes, I guess.
Sure.
Okay. I'll throw in a spill here about Little Rock Christian. Coach Hill's son, Justice Hill, is the quarterback this year for him, and to me, I saw him play last year. Just a tremendous athlete, and so we get to look forward to seeing him next week. And I think Little Rock Christian has been aiming for this game for quite a while, and kind of like maybe the team down in Louisiana, they're pointing towards this.
Right.
And Coach Hill says that he thinks maybe the possibility that Little Rock Christian has enough firepower this year that they could give the Bruins a challenge and maybe even possibly beat them. So it's going to be a good ball game next week.
I think you're absolutely right. Let's go ahead and go to Holt. I know that he normally at the end of the game likes to give out game balls, and so we had one half of some great, exciting, entertaining football. So who gets a game ball this week, Holt?
Well, on offense, we're going to go with an unusual pick. I'm going to go with number 71, Wesley Coleman.
Okay.
From the offensive line. And I almost got distracted by him too much tonight, but it seemed like every single play he was taking off down the field blocking someone. And I kept saying his name over and over again, especially when Hudson Henry was running in the end zone. It seemed like he was right there with them, just leading the way. I think he had a couple pancakes, and he just was all over the place, and he deserved a well-earned rest later on this evening.
You know, as big as he is, he's a 6'3", 305-pound senior, and it is really incredible how fast he can move off of the line and be, you know, just like you said, right out there with Henry.
Who's very fast for his size as well.
Right,
so.
right.
On the defense, number 36, Bennett Perkins. I want to say he had at least one turnover maybe, or he was in on, it seemed like every single tackle. He was right there, either making the initial stop or helping out, bringing him down. But he just, we called his name a bunch of times tonight. And I think he started off the game with a couple of plays for tackles for loss or sacks. I can't remember if it was the quarterback that had the ball at the time. But either way, he was right there. And so just excellent play by both of those players on both sides of the ball to put the Bruins where they wanted to be ahead for the entirety of the game.
I think if we go back and look at it, we're probably going to see that that Nolan Bruffett ended up with as many snaps as Braden Bratcher in this game.
Maybe.
So we'll have to go back after the coaches watch the film and get the official stats. They'll give us what that looks like officially.
After that last drive, yeah.
Sure. All right, folks. Well, that is it for us here at Rector Field. So we will see you again, like I said, right back here next week, next Friday night at 7 p.m., hopefully. And hopefully we don't have any weather that has us starting early again. But in the meantime, we would like to wish you all a good night and good luck from Hatcher Field, Hatcher Stadium. And we'll see you again next week. Pulaski Academy, again, winning this game 35-0 against J.A. Fair.
And for any new families out there that didn't get to go to the thing tonight, keep track of social media and make sure you keep up to date in case they send out updates and to let you know what's going on. Cause,
sure.
Having done it last year myself, with both my kids coming here, it's a lot of fun.
Sure,
it's something
it is.
You should not miss.
It's true what they say. PA is a community.
Yes.
It is. All right, folks. We'll see you next week. Have a good night and good luck.
Stay safe.